Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Welcome to the I Remember. Fuck. Start that one over again.
Yeah, solid plan. Solid plan.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. We are back in the 80s, 1988, to a movie I've seen a lot, have not seen in a long time. License to Drive with the two Corys, who made quite a few movies together.
Mhm.
They separately made a bunch of movies. I don't think we have done a Cory Feldman movie. We did
Yes.
Silver Bullet with Cory Haim,
We did.
which we liked. Who did you like more back then?
Cory Haim.
Cory Haim?
I was definitely a Cory Haim fan. I thought he was adorable. He was super cute.
Movie wise, because I was like, I remember a lot of movies from both of them, and I was like, I don't know who. And then when I thought about it, I was like, Cory Feldman. Like, don't get me wrong, because I made a list. We
Okay.
have Silver Bullet.
Yep.
This is Cory Haim. Was in Murphy's Romance. He was in Lucas.
Oh, I love Lucas.
He
Heartbreaking.
was in Lost Boys.
Mm-hmm.
License to Drive. Watchers. Dream a Little. Watchers very underrated. I remember it. Dream a Little Dream. So he's made some very good movie. A lot of movies that I liked him. Like Lost Boys. I don't know if it would be in my top. It won't be in my top 10 all-time favorite or anything, but it'd be in my top 10 2080s movies for sure.
Yeah. It's been forever since I've seen Lost Boys.
Yeah, and I saw it a lot. It was the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Everything was amazing about it. But then we get to Cory Feldman,
Mm.
who was in Fox and the Hound.
Yeah.
He did the voice of Copper. But when you get into movies, he was in Friday the 13th 4.
Yeah.
He was in Gremlins,
Yes.
which we loved. And
Yes.
he wasn't in just a little tiny part. He wasn't a star, but he was in a decent role. And Gremlins probably is somewhere in my 10 top 20 movies of all time.
Mhm.
He was in Friday the 13th 5. He was in The Goonies.
Yes.
Another movie that not just in my top 80s movies, top movies of all time. Stand By Me, which I loved. You not
Mhm.
so much.
Not me so much. No.
And then he was also in The Lost Boys, License to Drive. He was in The Burbs. And The Burbs
Yes.
is one of those movies that I just love. I haven't seen it in a very long time.
I
but-
haven't seen it in forever, and I think I only watched it like twice.
And it was one of those where it was on TBS or something like that. If I
Mhm.
was at 10 minutes left, I'd watch those 10 minutes. If I could watch it for the first 13 minutes, then I watched it
Yeah.
for the first whatever. I could just watch it. It's just one of those movies. Dream a Little Dream. And then he did the voice of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Donatello. Not just the first one, the second one, The Secret of the Ooze, and then even the crappy third one where they go back in time to Japan. So Cory Feldman was like a big part of my movie childhood. Like just
Yeah.
Gremlins and Goonies and Lost Boys. Yeah. But Cory Haim was great as well. Like I loved Silver Bullet. I loved Lucas. I loved Lost Boys.
The
Yeah.
funny thing is, of the two Corys, I think Cory Haim was the better actor, and he had the more potential for
Yeah,
a
it's too
long-lasting
bad.
career.
Yeah, it's
But I also think he had more demons than Corey Feldman. I think Corey
yeah.
Feldman also had very many demons.
Yeah, it's kind of
Um,
sad what happened to both of them.
so
It's
sad what's happened to both of them. Like,
yeah.
unfortunately, we don't have Corey Haim with us anymore, but Corey Feldman is still, around and kicking and still telling stories about what his life was like,
Yeah.
which I think is so important.
Sounds like his mother was horrible.
Honestly, you start hearing about
Oh,
these
my mom was bad.
these momagers who
Jesus Christ.
like, and you're sitting there going, Jesus Christ, CPS should have been called. Your children should have been taken away.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't need child stars in my movies as a kid. It would have been fine if this was how they were being treated. Like, God damn it, save the children. Like, it's fucking nuts. But yeah, I always thought Corey Haim definitely had more potential for a less surface level career. Like, I think he could have done a lot more artistic, kind of a little more with depth. I
Yeah.
think he had more potential for that. Unfortunately, he couldn't outrun his demons.
No, no. Corey Feldman was definitely one of those actors where it was almost as if it was Corey Feldman. Like the
Yes.
little goofy kid from Gremlins was the
Yes.
same goofy kid, just a bit more of a dick in Goonies.
And he did
And
it really
oh,
well.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
well. And I'm sure he probably could have continued doing it and been like, the dick teenager, the dick 20-year-old, the dick 30-year-old.
Well, I
It's
think
like,
he did in like License to Drive and Dream a Little
yeah.
Dream and yeah, The Burbs. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
the
I
dick.
think
He
it
was the
it
dickhead kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
God
The
bless. Like,
Burbs.
go from being the dickhead kid to the dickhead adult, but it's the same kind of, and you kind of see it with other actors who have been kind of pigeonholed, and some of them get pigeonholed just because they're like, you do this really well, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And others get pigeonholed because that's all they can do.
Yeah.
And some actors are like, hey man, that's cool.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
My mortgage is paid. I don't really care. Keep doing this. But yeah. So yeah, Corey Haim was my favorite of the Corys.
Now, what do we think? What do you remember about License to Drive first?
Okay, so I will preface this by saying the first time I ever saw it was a video rental
Yes.
at my next door neighbor's house, Carla, who is my older neighbor. She rented it. So me, her, and her little sister, who's younger than me, we all watched it together. And I think that's where my crush for Corey Haim started. But I remember failing a driver's test, still taking the car out for a
Yeah.
date.
And going
I
horribly
remember
wrong.
a very drunk girl and a lot of like driving around and trying to get out of trouble. And that's what I remember. It's very vague because I literally have not seen this since probably the early 90s.
Well, I believe the mom is Carol Kane.
Oh,
The dad is Richard Mauser.
amazing.
The girl that you're talking about is Heather Graham.
Which, until I pulled up the cast, I had no
I had
idea.
no
she was-
idea. I've probably seen this movie 5 or 6 times as a kid.
No idea.
None. And this was the same. This was actually a friend of mine. We had a corner store
Yeah.
that rented movies, and
Mhm.
we grabbed it, and it was just a sleepover, and a bunch of us watched this movie, and then we every couple weekends would go by, we rent it again.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then it would come on TV, and I've watched
Yeah.
it a few times, but I've not watched it since sometime in the 90s. Probably
Yeah,
mid 90s was probably the last time I've seen it.
I think the last time I watched it was like 92, 93.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long while.
Well, it was directed by Greg Beeman. And if you don't know who that is, you're not alone because I don't know who that is. But he also directed. Let's see. Oh, he's actually directed quite a lot.
Mhm.
He's 69. Oh, he's still directing. Good for him. Oh. He directed License to Drive. He did 2 episodes of a Disneyland show, and then License to Drive was his big movie. He did Mom
Wow.
and Dad Save the World. He did a few episodes of The Wonder Years, Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. with Bruce Campbell, underrated show, Problem Child 3. I wouldn't put that on my resume. Bushwhack, Nowhere Man, a lot of TV
Yeah.
movies. Yeah, just steadily working.
Right on. I love a director who's just steadily works.
Yeah, like I had 11 episodes of Jag, 14 episodes of Nash Bridges, 12 episodes. Oh, of the Heroes. I wonder if it was season 1.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that was a good season.
Smallville, 18 episodes of Smallville. Yeah, so
Mm.
yeah, steady. Tons of stuff here. The newest stuff, the Rookie, that Rookie show,
I
the new
love The
Nancy
Rookie.
Drew, Batwoman.
You know, the new Nancy Drew was actually really, really good. Just thought I'd throw that out there for anybody who it's a little different from the books, but I mean, obviously.
And it's written by someone that's best known for Richie Rich, License to Drive. 22 episodes of the new Magnum PI.
Oh,
So, and Blue Blood. Yeah. So, what do we think the budget of License to Drive is?
actually, I think it was pretty big. I'm gonna say 8 million.
Did you look it up? That's 8 million.
No, I did not look it up. You know why I
Nice.
said 8 million? Because the Corys were very popular, but still not too popular at this point.
I think you're right. I think they're, you know what? Like, because this was the year after Lost Boys. So I
Yeah.
think 8 million would have been, we'll do 8 million.
Yeah. So and there's a lot of outdoor scenes, if I'm remembering correctly, which usually ups the cost.
Yeah.
So like if this movie had taken place in a house party, then I think the budget would have been much lower. But because they would have been out and about, they would have needed cranes, yada yada yada. That's why I was like 8 million.
Yeah. And I think all the stuff up into, and then Lost Boys, I'm sure they've got paid okay for this movie.
They would have, yeah.
Probably not what they should have gotten, but
Oh no. But they would have been paid pretty decently for this, but not at the highest point of their career, what they were getting paid. Like they were still not there yet.
All right. So I don't know if this movie was a block. I know it wasn't a blockbuster, but let's see. 22 million.
That's
okay.
actually really good.
Yeah, that's you made a lot more than 8 million. You made a lot more money back.
Yeah.
Released in July.
Mm-hmm.
And it released in 6th place.
Okay.
But it opened up in just over 1,200 theaters. It was behind, Coming to America.
Okay, see. Yeah.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Never mind.
Arthur 2 on the Rocks. Big with Tom Hanks. Bull Durham.
Oh. Yeah, no. Number 6 is very respectable with that list of films.
Yeah. And and Short Circuit 2 opened on the same day, and it beat out that. And Crocodile Dundee 2, yeah. Great Outdoors, Red Heat.
Oh, the Great Outdoors too.
Yeah, they released a new thing of subject of Crocodile Dundee that is now completely edited.
Really?
Yes, the knife part.
Yeah.
And the bar with the trans guy, the trans lady.
Oh.
They cut it all out. I'm like, really? You shouldn't. Don't cut shit. Like if you don't want to watch it, I get it. Don't watch it.
Give a warning, sure, but
yeah. Actually, Disney even does that. Was it Disney? No.
Disney
Warner
does
Brothers.
that.
Yeah, Disney does do that, don't they?
Yeah, Disney's like, hey guys, so in this movie is this, and that.
Yeah. And Warner Brothers actually that we just watched that because we're watching some Looney Tunes stuff, and it says might be a little insensitive.
Yeah, they're like, gonna be racist.
It was made in the 1950s, but we don't believe in censoring. I don't think you should. I think you should be able to.
I think you should leave it exactly how. By all means, highlight things that could be very insensitive or offensive. Highlight them 100%.
Yeah.
But I also think a lot of people don't realize that film, television, music are a reflection of the times in which they're released.
Yeah.
So I think when you start fiddling with that, it's like you want to edit history, and it makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So
what the U.S. is doing right now.
It did 3 million, so it had a lot of legs.
Yeah.
Because the next weekend it made about 2.9, not just a little under what it did. So it just kept doing okay with bigger movies coming out, like Big Top Pee-wee, Midnight Run, Caddyshack.
Bambi came out in theaters.
Re-release.
Bambi doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, $5 million on a movie you made 50 years ago.
I remember when Disney was putting their animated movies into theaters, parents were dragging their kids because they're like, yes, something we can take our kids to.
Yeah.
And have them.
I went to a lot of re-releases.
Yeah.
You know which one of those were? Song of the South. My racist granny took me the Song of the South. And I thought it was great. I'm like, why is everyone complaining about this slavery thing? They're whistling. There's cartoon birds flying around. What the fuck? Then you watch a couple more shows. You're like, oh, Disney lied to me.
You're like, I get it now.
Yeah. Disney didn't show me that.
Yeah. After that, you're like, you watch Roots and you're like, this is
Yeah.
very different.
Where's all the cartoon birds and Uncle Rufus and shit? The Brer Rabbit. This is just a lot of whipping and shit. I don't like this at all.
Disney
No one's
lied to
whistling and
us.
singing and picking cotton. They're all complaining.
Why
I
aren't
feel
they
guil-
happy?
I feel overly guilty.
As you should.
Where were we? Yeah, so let's go to Rotten Tomatoes. I am going to go out on a limb here and say it did not get great reviews.
I think it did shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think nobody was liking this movie.
No. I remember liking it.
I loved it. I
And
thought it
this
was so
was-
much fun.
This was a pick.
Ah.
Both of ours picked. We both picked this out of the three. Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked this one because out of the three, I can't remember what they were. I liked all three, but I have not seen this one.
I
The
don't remember.
longest.
I think out of the three, there were only two I had seen.
Hmm.
And I was like, I really remember liking License to Drive. So let's do that one. Like, I remember liking it more than the other one. So
All right, so we both think that
I
this
don't
is
think
not
the
gonna do
critics will
well.
like it. 100%.
No. Oh, we're right. 25 reviews comes in at 24%.
Shit.
Ugh. 10,000 audience reviews comes in at 62%. That's a huge
See?
difference.
This is definitely a not critically acclaimed, but enjoyed by audiences kind of movie.
Yeah. Okay, so last week you did Pump Up the Volume. So
Yeah.
I will look for the good ones.
Okay.
You can look for the plentiful bad ones that seem to be all over this movie.
Yeah, no problem. I got you.
I will go first. Kevin Thomas, from the LA Times.
Mm.
He says, License to Drive hooks you faster than a car cutting in front of you on the freeway. No score, he
Okay.
just liked it.
Okay. Joe Pollock of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch says, this errant nonsense, obviously aimed at children who aren't yet 16, but who have the fantasies, goes beyond all bounds of intelligence and grace. No score.
David Nussar from Real Film Reviews, as a breezy, mindless little comedy, License to Drive undoubtedly fits the bill. 2.5 out of 4.
Chris Chase from the New York Daily News. There is a good deal of adolescent swaggering and belching, and I would guess 12-year-old males would be the picture's chief admirers. Original score 2 out of 4.
Bob Grimm, Las Vegas Mercury. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I like this movie. The Corys were actually funny in this one. 3 out of 5.
Juan Carlos Cotto from Miami Herald said, License to Drive takes too much license with its nuttiness, playing wacky moments to the point where the comedy sputters. Original score 1.5 out of 4.
Beeman, the director, has a light, affectionate touch with his stars and an even lighter, more affectionate touch with the cars that survive some amusingly narrow escapes. Kathy up at Detroit Free Press, she liked it, but it's got a 5 out of 10.
Jeff Andrew from Time Out says, everything you've ever hated about American teenagers, their music, money, fashion sense, their values, and most of all, their pinups, in one auto-destructive movie. No score.
Caffeinated Clint from Film Threat. Okay. One of the best teen comedies ever made. An absolute blast. But he only gives it 3 out of 5.
Interesting. Karen James from the New York Times says, anyone old enough to have a license is probably much too old to be amused by License to Drive. Original score 2 out of 5.
I'm out. God, no more.
We've got a few more, obviously.
Do a couple more.
Roger Ebert. We've got him, Chicago Sun-Times. Up until the halfway mark of this movie, I was having a very good time. Then somehow it ran out of energy. Original score 2.5 out of 4. That was kind of positive.
I will say this, in the 80s and the early 90s, they didn't make just plain like American Pie. It's
Yeah.
just silliness from beginning to end.
Yeah.
80s was silliness that had to have this over the top. He's really a spy from Russia, or
Yeah.
they got a bag full of money, or they were some sort of really
Or there
big.
has to be like a super moral dilemma
Yeah,
at some
yeah,
point. You're like, where the fuck did that come from?
yeah. And they didn't have to, but very 80s
Yeah.
and 90s were guilty of that a lot. I have a feeling that is in this movie.
I have a feeling too. Rob Vo from Flipside Movie Emporium said, it's the two Corys at the height of their popularity. Make sure your children avert their eyes by gouging them out if necessary. Original score 1 out of 5. Damn, Rob.
Damn.
So mad.
Right.
That's
IMDb,
enough of
unless you
that.
have a good one there.
Nah. They were
Okay.
average at best.
24,000 viewers give this movie a 6.3.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I will start with 10 because I think you started with 10 last time.
Yes.
I can't even find where. Oh, they're there. Not a ton of user reviews here, so it might be slim pickings.
Mm.
Number 10. Fasten your seatbelts. This is one awesome ride. I love the game 05. 10 out of 10.
Cute, enjoyable 80s slapstick. Peach Ham Beach, 9 out of 10.
Not just a license to drive, but a license to live. Hey, Sweden, 8 out of 10.
Get out of my dreams. Get into my car. Oh yeah, 80s bliss. Indiscreet Man, 7 out of 10.
A good What Could Go Wrong teen comedy. Bob Lipton, 6 out of 10.
Good idea, wrong execution. Paul Gatlanta, 5 out of 10.
Predictable but entertaining. Oh, actually, this one's better. Sorry, predictable entertainment, that Summerland. There should be a license to write, Mark Waltz. 4 out of 10.
Go on. There's only one 3 out of 10, and it is too annoying and predictable to be enjoyable. Jacob Nunnally, 3 out of 10.
I only got one 2 out of 10, and it is worst movie ever. Britton Stefan, 2 out of 10.
I also have a worst movie ever with 2 exclamation points for 1 out of 10 from Stephen Chase 63504. However, the one I want to share with you is Ineptitude at its very best from Joe and Joe 34219 loves Babs Streisand. What happened? Oh my god.
All right. And for taglines, I only got one here from IMDb, and it's some guys get all the breaks.
Actually, not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll take a look here at. Of course, I didn't get it ready. Why would I do that? Now, I couldn't find an official movie poster, like with I just couldn't find it.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty sure this is the one I remember on
Yeah.
VHS. This is the one I remember, and it's just the two Corys. Haim's got the keys on his finger. Now I know that's Heather Graham standing in front of the car. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure the original movie poster was a lot like this.
Yeah, it was probably
I would
very
not
similar.
print it. I would not put it on my wall. But I do. It's an okay poster.
No, it's an okay poster. I don't
If it
think
was just Heather Graham, I would put her on the wall. Oh wait, yeah, she's a teen there. No, I wouldn't. Bad. Boo.
Well, wait. This movie came out in 1988.
Yes.
Oh, she would have been 18 when it came out, so she's like 17 in this
Yeah.
movie.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo. Boo. Boo on me.
Yep. Perf.
All right. License to drive trailer. Can I just get a regular trailer?
Good luck with that.
Oh, here we go. Ooh. I have one here. Yeah, they're one from 9 months ago, The Abandoned Theater. Sorry, give me 1 second.
It's okay.
Yeah, that'll do. All right.
Meet the Andersons. They're all awaiting a big event.
Now, with your mother expecting, it's extremely important that one car be home at all times.
But Les is excited about an even bigger event.
Your license is just as important to me as it is to you.
But it doesn't look good.
You failed.
He failed?
Or does it?
I thought that we had a date tonight.
What could possibly go wrong?
See License
Whoa,
to Drive.
hold on. You got to show him the rest.
Oh? Oh, okay. Les knew that he could regret it.
This is it.
I'm up.
He knew he might be sorry.
This Mercedes has a dead battery.
Okay, do your breathing.
But he did it anyway.
There's nothing to worry about.
License to Drive.
Does it have a happy ending?
I am so concerned.
Yeah. It looks 80s.
It looks very 80s. Like a lot.
Come on, nostalgia.
It better be super heavy in nostalgia.
And the family dinner with the mom and the crazy mom and the crazy dad, that could be any 80s comedy movie, from like Caddyshack
100%.
to what we've watched a bunch.
Yeah.
Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer. Yeah, they're all. I don't know. I probably will like it. I don't think I'm gonna love it.
Yeah. I think
Again,
the
it's-
nostalgia will kick in.
Yeah. I don't think it was one of those ones like when we did Pump Up the Volume where it takes you back. You're like, yes, I remember that this is
Yeah.
part of my life back then. I don't know, because there was no license in 1988, but it was funny, kind of, sort of, not really.
The trailer was not.
Wasn't the
gr-
greatest
It
trailer. No.
feels like it was trying to push the "we're funny" bit.
Yeah.
Which always concerns me, because I'm like, oh God, you're really trying to convince me this is funny.
Yeah, because you're not using clips from the movie. You're doing like this little bit.
The
with
actual
the
trailer
guy.
part, they're like,
Yeah.
no, you got to show the rest, and it's like, oh Jesus, are you trying to convince me before I've even seen it that this is a funny movie? Because if so, then chances are it's not going to be funny. So that's a little concerning to me, but I have high hopes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because I know after this they did Dream Little Dream, and they did Meatballs Part 4.
Mm.
They were. I don't think I've seen that movie, but I know they were in
Seen
it.
either.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
if it's
remember
just a
really
light,
liking it.
funny, like nostalgic trip down memory lane, I'll be happy.
Yes. As long as it's not terrible.
All right.
Like
well,
terrible, not funny, terrible, but like,
yeah, just
you know,
terrible. Or
just
maybe it might be
terrible.
so bad it's good.
God, I hope so. I really hope so.
Well, we are going back to 1988, and we are going to watch License to Drive. When we come back, we will review it.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
Yeah, fuck every fucking time. Part of the comments there, as it's me. I remember the comment before it reminds them of Adventures in Babysitting. I remember loving Adventures in Babysitting.
Like from when we did our review.
Did we do Adventures in Babysitting?
Yeah, we did, yo.
No, we did. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh my God, did we not do Adventures in
No, we haven't done
Babysitting?
Adventures in Babysitting yet. We did
Why do I feel
Don't
like
Tell
we
Mom the
have?
Adventure, which I want to say we liked it, but I don't think we
We
did.
did not.
No,
No, you liked it a little bit more
I
than
liked
I
it. Yeah,
did.
yeah,
I really didn't like it. You kind of liked it.
yeah. I kind of liked it,
Yeah.
but I remember loving Adventures in Babysitting.
I remember loving it too, but these movies had made me so afraid.
Yeah. I still remember, and sometimes think I love Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
was
I liked
adamant I loved it. I was adamant it was a great movie.
We
Then
didn't
watched
hate it.
Well, no, we kind of did because we were like, this is the most ridiculous. Like there were moments in it that we were like, this is good, but we're like, overall, this movie is shit.
Yeah,
But not even like super good shit.
yeah.
Like it was just like tired.
If I saw it on TV, I'd still probably watch it.
Well, yeah. Also, I bought it for the podcast, so
did I.
At some point, I'm
It's
going
still
to
sitting
rewatch
right
it.
there.
Yeah, I will get my money's worth. Damn it, I will.
All right, welcome back to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Did you watch License to Drive?
I did indeed.
And what's your initial thoughts?
I don't hate this movie, but I don't like it either.
I
like-
must have been in a great mood. I really like this movie. It's
no.
Don't get me wrong, it's a bad movie. But I don't know, it's just something about it was fun.
Nah, I was not feeling I wasn't feeling hate towards it. Like I was watching it and I was like, "Oh God." And then there was a lot of, "Oh Jesus. What is wrong with this kid?" Like I was more concerned with this kid and his life choices. I was also concerned with his parents. But I mean, like I was just like, "What? I don't like, huh?" And it was just there was a lot and I was just like I didn't hate it. Definitely didn't like it either. Not even like it didn't induce any rage in me, but at the end of it, I was like, "Eh."
See, yeah, it does lose a bit of steam.
It
going into the
loses a
second
lot
part.
of steam.
And then, like, because my wife was like, "What are you watching?" And I'm like, "Doing License to Drive." She said, "Oh, that movie sucks." And I'm like, "Okay, well."
God bless me.
But
and
we
your wife.
started watching it, and she's laughing. She watched a bit of it, and she started laughing when it got to him taking the test.
Well, the test, I was like, first of all, it threw me off that there were computers in the room. I was like, wait a second. I've done my written test for my license, and it was not on a computer.
No.
How were they doing that in 1988? But
And
no,
then,
it was fairly entertaining in the ramp up.
yeah.
Once it got to the ridiculousness,
See, my 7-year-old just howled with the drunk driver.
and I can see why. I
Which
can
made me
definitely
start to
see why.
fucking laugh.
Well, no, because at one point I had the thought my IQ is too high for this movie. That's what I thought.
Oh
'Cause I'm
yeah,
like it's dumb. It's super dumb, and I think it's just not my type of comedy. Like I need some kind of purpose to the things that are happening, not just ridiculous,
Yeah.
ridiculous, ends on ridiculous, and then just kind of everybody ends up winning in the end. And I'm like, that's weird.
Corey Feldman is the perfect co-star, not the
Yes.
star.
No.
He is the perfect co-star. I found a lot of funny moments with him. Heather Graham, surprisingly, like when her face is pressed up against the
Heather
the
Graham was
window.
great in this. I
And-
really liked her character. Mind you, she
Her-
slept in the trunk for most of it, so I mean, how do you fuck that up? But she was great. Whenever she was on, I was like, "Oh, girl, you really are that like kind of dumb." Also, Paolo, I wrote a note when Paolo showed up at this high school party, and I was like, "Who is this middle-aged man?"
Yeah, he looked old. I reminded me. We had a friend. Well, she was a year ahead of us, and our friend was a year behind it. But she was very attractive in my high school, and she came to school with her boyfriend because she talked about him, and then he came.
Yeah.
And he looked like Tom Selleck. He
Oh
had
my
the full mustache and he had the hair and stuff. He looked like he was 40 fucking years old. Nicest guy.
Okay, but how old was he though?
I think she said he was like 25.
Jesus Christ.
And she would have been like 17.
That's gross.
Oh, we made fun. Yeah, like, and you gotta remember, this is the 90s. We definitely made fun. Not in front of her, like, definitely
no.
behind her back.
Yeah, I mean, is she gonna see Grandpa this weekend? Like, you're gonna bust out those jokes.
Yeah.
That's weird. Well, when I was 14, I realize this now, and I'd like to point this out that I realize how weird and icky this is. When I was 14, there was this guy that I met through my friend's boyfriend who also, we were both 14, me and my friend. The guy that my friend was seeing was 19. And then his brother was 21. I realize now how inappropriate and gross this is. But I kind of started talking to the 21-year-old. My friend was dating his brother, the 19-year-old. And I mean, it obviously didn't work out because the guy was kind of not that bright. I was like, we have nothing to talk about. I don't know why I was like, I think I'm too mature for you at 14.
You're watching Shira and he's.
No, I was watching Law and Order. He was watching She-Ra.
He has to go to work in the morning.
He has to go to work. He was a construction worker, whatever. Anyways, it didn't work out. But now looking back, I thought it was so cool because I was like, this cute 21-year-old totally wants to like talk to me. And now looking back, I'm like, that was fucking gross. But you don't think of that when you're 14. You think it makes you mature and older and, so like, I don't even know, like worldly, but really you're just the prey for a predator.
You're a victim, dude.
You're a victim. But you don't realize that at 14. You think you're cool. So at 17, you're like, yeah, he's got a full Tom Selleck mustache and he drives and he has a full-time job and he pays to take us out to restaurants where you need to use silverware. Yeah.
Oh, this guy looked like he was halfway done his mortgage. He had like RSPs and everything.
I mean, in the 90s, he probably was. He's probably got a financial advisor at that point being like, let's think about the future.
Yeah.
Oh God. But yeah, no, this movie, there was a lot in this movie where I was just like,
I love the parents. I love the dad.
Oh, the dad is so weird and I love that for him.
Yeah.
And the mom is so weird and I love that for her. I wanted more of the parents. I don't think they did them justice during the overnight scenes when they're in the bedroom. I don't think they did enough. Like, you've got Carol Kane and Richard Mazur, and you're not using them.
Yeah.
It felt like a sin.
That was I thought that was a great plot point. Like when he had to get up because she was pregnant and he had to get up all the time, and it was just something was going to happen where they were going to find out that the car was gone.
Yeah, I like that. I think they were underused in that. Like, I think that's the like.
And that's part of my review. Like, I could have watched less of the Corys and more
100%.
of the adults in this.
Also, Dean, as played by Cory Feldman, is the worst person in the world.
Yeah, he's horrible.
He's terrible, and I can't.
But he is funny.
I don't know. There was some super creeper, like he's.
Oh, they're taking the pictures of her.
That's fucking weird. Okay, and illegal and gross.
Like in the
80s. That's true. Not in the 80s. In the 80s, that would have been funny. But watching it now, I was like, I think I'm just too old for this.
Yeah, that was. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
I think if you really want to pretend that you're still 14 years old, you can 100% watch this movie and fully enjoy it. But I'm looking at it as like, boy, why aren't you telling your friends that you're going home? Why are you still driving around? Why are you listening to your friend who keeps telling you to go do things? And you're worried about your grandpa's car, his caddy?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dude.
The continuity of this movie was horrible.
Oh God, it was terrible.
Sometimes the car was smashed up, then it was a little smashed up, then not smashed up.
Yeah, that was definitely where do we put this stupid bit of chasing and braking of the car? They're just willy-nilly picking it out, but I mean, hey, Uncle Phil is in this. That's what matters.
Yeah, actually, he was pretty funny too.
I loved him.
Yeah.
That driving test was like perfect. I was like, yes.
The alcohol, the drunk driver. when he's trying to cut the
The
lime.
lime. I was like, there's a fucking
And
lime.
then he has a pocket knife and he puts it in the dash.
Just stabs the dash. I think those were the moments that I could, like, when they're sitting around the dinner table and Dean's honking the horn and
Yeah, that.
he just keeps eating his, and everybody's just getting more and more irritated. I'm like,
And then
perfect.
he's looking like my mom's gonna give in about 2
Yeah.
seconds here. And she's getting
He's
more
like,
and
"It's
more
okay."
fucking annoyed.
Yes. And I'm like, that was funny. So I think it had enough good moments for me to enjoy,
Yeah.
but it almost felt kind of pointless for a lot of it.
Oh, this is a super pointless movie.
Yeah,
And it's not. This is, and it's in my review. Like, I did like the movie. It's not a great movie.
No.
It's a B comedy movie. I'll get more into the review.
Yeah. Okay.
Or my score.
We
Let's go over this. Plot's pretty simple.
You don't say.
If people remember, it starts off with a dream sequence where every kid is chained to the seat in the bus, and
Yes.
that guy was familiar too. The bus driver, the
Mhm.
instructor, the professor, and he somehow gets out, and the bus is chasing him, and then he hops into this red Ferrari that has Heather Graham in it, and then that's when he blows up the.
Yeah, because the bus starts chasing them in the Ferrari and yada
And
yada
then
yada.
he wakes up and goes to school. So Southern California teenager Les Anderson tries to get his driver's license to impress his crush, beautiful Mercedes Lane. He fails the knowledge portion of the exam, but inadvertently causes a computer surge. So before this, I did love how he was trying to work up the balls to go talk to Mercedes.
Yes.
The old guy who looked like he was in his mid to late 30s. Picks her up, drives away, and then there's Corey Feldman on the bike. And how
he
he
like touches the
taps
handlebars.
hop on, buddy, I'll drive you home.
He's like, I don't want to die. I gotta go do my test. And he's like, don't worry, I'll take it slow. And he's driving directly into oncoming traffic. It's amazing.
Yeah. And then he gets home and the dad's cleaning out the garage, and he asks Corey Feldman or Dean if he wants to help. And Dean's like, I can't. And then the BMW jokes how Les wants a BMW, and his dad's like, no. And then we get the whole dinner
The mashed
conversation.
potatoes.
We know that he's a twin.
Yes.
And then Dean shows up with his mom,
his little
honking.
sister.
Yeah, and
in the front seat.
honking. And they're like,
Constant.
sit down, eat. And then he's like,
Yep.
all right, whatever. Dean's honking now, yelling out the window. Les's mom's getting fucking irritated. To finally, she's like, get out of here. Yeah, he's just eating, smiling.
He's like, this is fine.
Because the dad was kind of like, go. But his mom said, sit down and eat. And then he's like, go, no, sit down and eat. Like, he's just going off what his wife.
Oh, 100%, which is what you do.
When your wife is
that pregnant,
yeah,
you're like, of course, whatever she's saying.
Yeah, you're making your mother upset. That was what he said that a lot. So they get in the car, they go to this high school party. The mom's slowing down to the driveway. They freak out and they hide, and Dean's yelling at his mom, drive down the block and let us out.
And let me tell you, if I did that to one of my parents, they would have driven me right back home.
Yeah.
Then made me build a fence or something.
And then their other friend, what was his name?
I don't remember his name.
Charles.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Charles gets dropped off by his mom.
Yes.
Says, I love you, mommy. Gives his mommy a kiss goodbye. They're trying to ignore him.
Charles is a nerd, but he loves his mommy. Okay.
Yeah. And then they go to this party. So we get an idea. It's just regular high school, 1988, 80s high school stuff. He goes to take his test next day. He's excited. Very confident. He gets a couple right, and then he gets one wrong. And then he gets a second one wrong. Now he's getting nervous.
Yeah.
And it just this whole 80s buildup of...
There's a cute little montage of other people picking answers, him looking over at his sister looking over at him.
Yeah.
The computer putting up new questions, yada, yada, yada.
The music, the dreary music, everything's closing in on him. And then he gets his last wrong answer, and it says, you have failed. stands up, is like, shit, and then hits the computer, and they all surge. This is what I mean by this is not a good movie. They're like, the lady come, oh, Mr. Anderson, we can't find your score, but since you're a twin and your sister got perfect, we're just assuming you got perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that would
That would totally happen at the DMV, the Ministry
yeah,
of
the DMV, yeah.
Transportation. Yeah,
But for
since
this
your
movie,
twin, who's not an identical twin, just a fraternal, but since your twin scored well, you did too, I'm sure.
yeah. So he gets to go drive his test, and this is where we get to see Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince.
Yes, he is the tester, which is great. But also, we should point out that at the high school party, Mercedes walks in. Les tries to work,
with her, yeah,
work
with her
himself up
boyfriend.
to talk to her. And then Paolo, the middle-aged man, comes in and he's being very possessive and he wants to leave and yada, yada. And she's like, no, well, I have other plans on Saturday. And she
Yeah.
points at Les.
With this
Says,
guy.
I'm going on a date with him. And it's like, do you actually have plans? And Les is like, yeah, they just weren't final. And she's like, well, they're final now. Because she's trying to stand up to the middle-aged man. And then Les has a moment where he's like, I don't know if that's a real thing, if we're really going out or not. And he's debating back and forth. And Dean is all like, just call her.
Yeah. And then he does call her, doesn't he? Before the...
He does, but then his dad walks in. And then
Yeah.
he hangs up without actually talking to her.
Yeah. And actually, yes, before the testing, another scene which was great was he was driving. His dad's like, yeah, you can drive. If you can drive this Cadillac, you can drive anything, and lets him drive because he has his learner's permit. And then he sees Mercedes walking, and he convinces his dad to let him drive. She lives 3 doors down just so he can impress her. So his dad gets out holding all the groceries. And
he's
the
holding a
diapers.
lot of really big boxes of diapers. I felt for that man.
And then he goes to Mercedes, like, can I give you a ride home? She goes, oh, I live 3 doors down, but I'm not going home. I'm going to my friend's house. And it's like, he's like, oh, but yeah, I'll drive you. And then he drives off.
The best part is he literally looks in like his rearview mirror at his dad standing there.
I think his dad gave him a thumbs up.
No, he didn't. I think he gave him a thumbs up because 3 doors down, but he was also holding all the boxes. So I think he was
that's right. Yeah.
His dad was just standing there looking really happy.
Yeah.
And then he was like, sure, I'll give you a ride home. And I was like, who is this kid? Because
he drives off and
your
the
dad
like,
is standing there with 3 boxes of diapers, you dick.
Like, Les, where are you going?
Les,
so he drops her off, goes back, and his dad's like, there's groceries falling from him. He's all sweaty.
He's super mad. And I'm like, dude, honestly, just ground him at this point.
Yeah. Okay, so that's yes. And the boyfriend and the big fight was very instrumental to the plot. So yeah. Les failing marks. Oh, yes. Marks are thought to be irretrievable, but the Department of Motor Vehicles let him pass the exam after comparing him to his twin sister's high marks. He eventually passes his road test, but the test scores are finally retrieved and his license is revoked. The test with Dr. Uncle Phil.
Well, James Avery.
James Avery
is fantastic with his cup of 7-Eleven coffee.
Yeah, I don't believe in clipboards.
And he throws it out the window.
Throws it out the window. He goes, this is a hot coffee. If one drop spills on me, it'll probably burn me. And you will definitely fail. He's like, let's go, soldier. And he takes him down the LA traffic, the highway, but it cuts to his sister and her instructor, and they're in the middle of like nowhere, suburbia, no traffic. And when he's like, okay, stop here and parallel park, and it had to be what, 5 cars?
Something like that. It was 3 80s car lengths.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like 5 now car lengths, like compact car lengths.
And she parks it like kind of in the middle, and he's like, perfect. And then it cuts to him, and he's like, parallel park there. And he has barely any room to get in there at all. I thought that was funny how it just kept going back and forth to her getting this easy, and he's getting all this. And he passes. He actually stops hard, and the cup flips over, but it's empty. But then they get the score back, and he does not get his license.
So they actually hand him his license. The one
Yeah, he
clerk
has it
that-
in his hand.
Then he has it in his hand. Then the woman calls over the clerk that gave him the card, and then she walks over and she's like, "You failed. What God giveth, the DMV can taketh away."
Yeah.
And she tears it up in front of his face, and I'm like, "Our driver's license really just a piece of paper?" Is that?
And they use the one F word that every PG-13 is allowed to have, one, to keep their PG-13. You don't fuck
Yeah.
with the DMV. Yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
yeah, and then he goes home, and then everyone's all excited, and he just lies and says that he does. So Les tries concealing the truth from his parents, but his mother finds out the truth, and his father grounds him for 2 weeks. Yeah, so they think that, and they're like, okay, we gassed up the cars, it's ready for you to use. Dad comes in with champagne to celebrate. He said, "You saved me so much money, son." "Oh, how's that, Dad?" "You failed your fucking test."
Well, yeah, because mom finds the test in his jean pocket, but they
Yeah.
don't just go straight to him. No, Dad
No.
walks in with champagne, 2 coupe glasses. He's like, "Thank you for saving me $26,000.
Yeah.
How's that? $23,000 for the car and $3,000 for the insurance.
Yeah.
Because you failed." And he slaps the paper down. I was with this movie until actually most of this. I was enjoying myself. I was like, "Oh, this is kind of fun."
I thought it was very fun. Yeah. Les had previously made plans to drive his grandfather's prized 1972 Cadillac sedan DeVille and decides to sneak away anyway for a joyride to Mercedes. Yes, because his buddies are calling him.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't. And then Mercedes calls him at like 11 o'clock at night. And like, are we still going out?
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, like who's
She's alone reading magazines, eating ice cream. 11:15. She's calling this boy,
Yeah.
this child, and being like, "Do you still want to go out?" Who is leaving their house at 11:15?
Yeah.
At the age of 16.
Yeah. Well, 17.
No, it would be 16.
She would be 16.
They both would be 16 if they're in the
Yeah.
same grade. And we all know how it is, especially in the States. Like they get their license right away. It's like it is in northern Ontario, north of Toronto or outside of Toronto. Anybody who turns 16 usually gets their license. Like I am a super oddity because I don't have my driver's license.
Yeah.
I've had it at certain points throughout my life, but I don't keep it up because I don't need it because I live and I used to work in
You
downtown
live in
Toronto.
a giant city. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, I have a lot of public transportation. I live in an area that's very well serviced. Like, I don't have a need for that. But all of my friends who grew up outside of Toronto, they're like, "Yo, your 16th birthday, you're at Service Ontario. You're getting your license because that's
Freedom.
the only way you really have freedom up there." And it's kind of the same way in the States too, where it's so regular and normal to have your driver's license right when you turn 16.
Yeah. Yeah. Like his friends were just waiting. Like Dean even said, like, your license is just as important to me as it is to you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Because they would keep wanting to go to this diner, this drive-in diner type thing. So Mercedes calls him and he sneaks out. He checks to see if his parents are sleeping, and then he sneaks out. Mercedes gets drunk, and then Les accidentally okay, so we missed a bit. She takes him to a bar or a club.
I think it's a club.
That Pilo is going to be at.
Which also,
Kinda
16 years old going to a club.
How are you not getting carded, dude?
She looked.
He didn't even make it in.
He didn't make it in, but that's just because he wasn't cool enough.
No. I'm
She
with
was
her. And he's
apparently
like,
cool
yeah,
enough.
no, you're not.
Yeah, no, you're not. She's cool. You're not.
Yeah.
Also, he refused to do valet because he saw the valet.
That was pretty funny.
Guy
yeah.
was like, and then you hear a crash. And
Take
he's
care
like,
of my
"I'm not
car.
doing
Yeah,
that."
the guy just fucking takes off and spins around the corner. You hear a crash.
Yeah, so he very, very cautiously parallel parks it on the street.
In a
Anyways, he
towaway
can't get-
zone.
yeah. So they go to the club. And that's where Paolo is with
Yes.
another woman.
Looked 16 as well.
Correct. And he apparently is also living with him. And I swear to God, when he said she's living with me now, I was like, do her parents know?
Yeah. Jeez. Paolo.
Perv.
Oh, Paolo.
Oh, Paolo.
So she gets mad, steals a big thing of champagne, and she's like, let's go to this place I know. And it's a place where her dad. I love this scene where he's his cape gets eaten up.
Yes.
And that's something that was like so much nostalgic.
We've all experienced that.
It just
let me
spits
phrase
out
that. Anybody born before
Yeah.
1990 has experienced that.
Yeah. And that was cool. And then he puts in Frank Sinatra. And when she starts dancing on the hood.
Oh my God.
And you hear the scrape and he's getting so anxious.
That's one of the, he wouldn't even let her sit on the hood.
No.
Without a blanket being down. And then all of a sudden she's on the hood dancing in those little heels.
In the heels.
Which I think are so ugly. But anyways, and I kept hearing the scratch. And that is one sound I cannot abide.
Yeah.
Like my entire body seizes up. And it's just like, oh my God, I can't. And I was, thank God, when she's like, I should probably take off my shoes. I'm like, please, please. So me and Les were at the same place right there. We were like, take off the goddamn shoes.
So she gets actually they put a giant dent in the hood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she kind of passes out because she's kind of making out with him, and then she drops down into his lap and he's kind of like smiling, and then he looks down and then she starts snoring.
Yeah. That was fun.
They go to Dean's, who actually knocks out the dent.
Yes.
And then that's where you get this Mercedes has a dead battery and her face is just pressed up against the window. So they decide to put her in the trunk and go to what is it?
They put her in and they decided to go. Didn't they decide to go to that drive-in?
Yes.
At that point,
Mercedes,
they give her the blanket and she's like, night night.
Yeah. Yeah, she actually curls up and gets all comfy.
Les does look really uncomfortable about putting her in the trunk.
Yeah, he still did it.
But at least he looked uncomfortable about it.
Dean was like, just put her in the fucking trunk, dude.
But was this before or after they were on the highway?
Oh, no, yeah, I think she might have been in the back.
She was in the back seat of the car.
Back seat, yeah, they didn't put her in the trunk yet.
Dean and Charles were in the car. Dean was in the back seat with her. And then all of a sudden he starts taking pictures, like he undoes her top a little bit.
He's taking over cleavage.
And he's taking pictures and Les being the ever
yelling at him,
trying to take away the camera, not looking at the road. Because why would you do that?
Yeah.
And Dean, in all of his genius, is running the flash on that.
Oh yeah, and they have the outside shot of the car swerving the road, and the flash
is going, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, Dean is literally the worst. Anyways, the flashes momentarily blind Les. He goes across several lanes. When they finally stop the car, they get the camera away from him, and poor Mercedes. She's like, I'm gonna puke.
Oh yeah, and then Dean is like, get her off.
Get her out of the car. So they do get her out, and that's when they put her in the trunk.
That's when they put her in the trunk. Because he's like, no, we're going home. He's like, no, we can go out to this place. It's all my brother talked about. I've got the directions in my pocket. Where are we here? Mercedes gets drunk, and then she and Les accidentally cave in the hood of the car after dancing on it. She passes out. Les panics and goes to his best friend Dean's house to have him fix the dent in the car's hood. Dean persuades Les to continue the joyride along with their friend Charles, but unaware Les still does not have his license. The three put Mercedes in the trunk of the car and continue their night on the town, causing even more damage to the Cadillac. Meanwhile, Mrs. Anderson wakes up her husband late at night, announcing she is in labor. Yeah, this is a running gag.
Yeah.
She gets up in labor, and then she's like, he's about to go in the garage and see the car's not there. And then over the intercom, she's like, oh, no, it was a false alarm. Make me a sandwich. And that's a running gag through. And that was pretty funny. I did like that part.
I thought it could have been funnier. I think they could have used the parents more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now that we're older, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Yeah. I think as a kid, you're like, parents aren't real people. So this is just enough gag. But once you get older, you're like, oh my God, use Carol Kane. You have her there. Use her.
Yeah. This jumps back to the next day as Les drops them off. So in between there, they make it to
the
drive-in diner. Yeah. And it's tons of people, old 50s cars and everything. She's in the trunk still. Dean sets up with three girls. And then before that, they almost got into a drag race with these three guys. And they
The
speed
three
off.
guys wanted to get into a drag race.
Yeah.
Les was like, "No, sir.
Les just keeps going slow.
I am going to very comfortably press on the gas and go the
Yeah.
speed limit. Thank you so much."
So
The
while
car
they're,
hadn't been that fucked up at that point.
while they're in this diner, they order food, and then Dean comes back and says, I got three girls are coming back. Everyone's excited. Charles opens the door and dings the car next to him, and it's those guys. And
Yep.
they're a lot older, a lot bigger.
They're older,
And-
bigger, and they're wearing leather.
Yeah.
So right there,
Yeah.
you
In
know
the
they're bad
80s,
dudes.
that meant they're bad dudes. And they start attacking them, and they pull out of the car, and they have to leave. And
Yeah.
then they go through whatchamacallit,
A check-in point,
yeah,
a road
drinking
check.
and driving road check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a drunk guy ahead of them in a VW bug.
Yeah, they're telling him
Or a
walk the
little
line.
car.
He's looking. I don't see no line. And they're like, your license and registration to Les, and he's like, I left it at home.
I
He's
forgot
like,
my license at home, but I have
Yeah.
this, and shows him his
bus
bus
pass.
pass.
That's when he tells them that he doesn't have a license, and they're upset. And only in the 80s that they get a call that there's a riot downtown where the sister went with her boyfriend.
Yes.
And then the cops are like, "It's your lucky night," and they leave. Not only him, the drunk driver. I'm like, only in the 80s would that happen.
They're like, no, I know you're super drunk. I'm not even going to take your keys.
No,
just stay here. Thanks.
Now the kids are out of the car at this point, getting
Yeah.
yelled at by the cop, and then the cop has to leave. In the meantime, the drunk driver is like, "Oh, this is a lot nicer car than my car," and
First he's
steals
like,
it.
"Is that the line? Is that
Oh
the
yeah,
line?"
is that, yeah.
I think that's the line. And so the three boys are having a conversation, not looking at the drunk guy.
Yeah.
They open the trunk to take Mercedes out.
Yes.
I don't remember why. But
Oh, the cop asked him, "Let's see, open
Oh.
the trunk, please." And then you see the trunk open, the shot from inside the trunk.
Yeah.
And you see the look on Cory Les's face, like, "Oh my God." And the cop's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
the cop was literally like, "Who's that?" "It's my date."
Yeah. And she's like, "Hi, Les."
Hi.
Oh.
And then the cop just walks away, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Okay,
That
what?"
checks out.
Anyway, so they decide to take Mercedes out of the trunk. When they do that, that's when the drunk is like, "Ooh, this is a nicer car. Ooh,
Yeah.
keys!" And he just gets in,
Just takes
and
off.
drives away.
They chase him in his little Beetle, as their
Yes.
bug. And this is where my 7-year-old just killed herself. This drunk driver doing all this stupid. He's throwing
Yeah.
up. He's making drinks and cutting limes and flying over, whatever, getting into just
I
totaling
loved-
the fucking car.
Yeah, he was wrecking that car, but I did love the lime part because I was like, "Is he fucking cutting lime?" I
Cutting limes.
was like, "Where did he get the lime? What?"
Yeah, because he
That was
sets up
good.
as he's driving. He's putting all these little bottles of alcohol on the
Yeah.
dashboard. And then they're driving up beside him. Les is like crawling out and trying to get into the other car, and yeah, so it's a whole thing. Silly 80s.
Yes.
They finally get the guy. Yeah, they finally stop the car after.
No, they didn't really. It took them a while because they were going side by side, remember? And then Les
Yeah.
had to go into the other cars, into the caddy's window
Yeah,
to try and, because the drunk driver passed out.
passed out. He's like, "Are you?"
And the car's
sleeping?"
still like speeding. So he's like, "I got to get to the brake."
Oh no, he
So
was driving straight.
Yeah,
And they're
he
like,
was.
Did he all of a sudden get sober? And they get up to him, and he's passed.
So Les climbs into the caddy from the VW, and eventually his shoelace gets caught in the door lock.
Yes.
And then he eventually gets to the brake. It stops.
Yeah,
Barely.
barely. Yeah, because and then he gets out and look, and it's just totaled. It's
Oh
just
my God,
fucked.
It's ruined. It's absolutely
right.
ruined.
What happens after that? The drunk driver goes in his car, I'm guessing.
I don't know I don't think we see him going in his car.
Oh,
We see the boys getting into the caddy and driving away.
yeah.
It doesn't have a windshield anymore. It's battered. It's broken. Anyways, I think at that point they just go home.
Yeah, drops off Dean and Charles, and Dean is
Yeah.
like, no matter what happens, dude, as far as first date night with a license, this will never be topped. This
And
will be
it's daylight now.
yeah,
It
it's
is
the morning.
morning time.
And he pulls into the garage just as his mom and dad are coming up because now she really is in labor.
Yes.
He sees them and hides down underneath the seats. And the dad is like, "Who left the garage door open?" And then he notices like, "What the fuck?"
He throws the little suitcase in the front seat, hits Dean. He hits Les because you can hear him go, "Ow!"
Yeah, he's like, "Come here." He's chasing him around the car.
And it's funny because I think the mom said like, "Oh no, I think it's a false alarm." But then her labor really picks up.
Yeah.
While it
puts him in the back, and she's like, "You
yeah.
got to be back here with me."
And then they wanted the little brother to drive.
Well, the mom said, "Let Les drive," and he's like,
Yeah.
"No," and he's like, the little brother, "You drive." The little brother's like, "Sweet."
He's ready. He's ready to go. But Les is like, "I can do it, Dad.
Yeah.
Trust me." And then he did.
Yeah.
And
So
they
this
had-
is Mrs. Anderson is still in labor, but since the car's transmission will not shift into drive, Les is forced to drive his family to the hospital in reverse. She is taken into the hospital, but a crane fall. Yeah, so he has to drive the entire way there in reverse. He passes Uncle Phil, the driving instructor,
and
who
he spills his
his
coffee. I was like, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. I like that.
Gets to the hospital, gets her out, and then of course there's some construction going on. Giant beam falls and crushes the car. And his dad's like, "Oh, whatever."
So then it cuts to them being back home.
Sometime later, Mrs. Anderson gives birth to twin babies, and the family tries to explain the state of the Cadillac to Les's grandfather. But grandfather shows up and they're not answering the door.
Yeah,
the younger brother is like, "It's Grandpa."
And the dad's like, "I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Once he sees the twins, he won't even look at his car. Like, it'll be fine."
They open the door. "Where's McCaddy?" "Les did it."
That I liked.
They open up the garage. It's like a pancake.
Yeah.
The Cadillac's a pancake. I don't know if you would be able to take that home. Something tells me that's a violation of some sort, but for the movie,
be
it's
able
funny.
to drive it home.
No, and then the grandpa starts laughing. He goes, "I had a little trouble with your car." The dad's BMW, and a tow truck drives out, and the BMW is just totaled. And the dad says to Les, "You can have the BMW. There it is. You got your BMW." Yeah, Robert gives the BMW to Les and jokingly tells him to take good care of it. Although Les thinks his father, he has changed his mind and doesn't want any more. Mercedes pulls up in a white Volkswagen Golf and picks up Les. He gets in the car and drives away, implying that he eventually got his license. And the girl.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And that is our movie. All right. What is your score?
This is a stream it for me. It's not terrible. It's a cheesy, unsmart. It's not even that dumb, but it's
not
just
smart
not
either.
smart. It's not smart. It's not a smart movie, but it's not like a super dumb movie either.
No.
It's just harmless fun for 2 hours. It's still not worth the $4.99 that I paid to rent it. And that's fine. I'm not super mad about paying it, but I'm a little irked that I paid to watch this movie. Because I think it bookends really nicely with pretty good movie. It's the constant destruction that really, I was just like, this feels so pointless, but like I get why it's there. It's just not my kind of movie. That's all it is. Like that kind of like mindless action with no purpose. I'm like, this just feels like we already know the car's gonna get totaled. Like it didn't feel like, at least if they were on a mission to do something other than just be dicks overnight, like it would feel, I would like it more, I think. But it was just like, y'all are just wandering around being assholes. And fuck, I hated Dean. Fuck that guy. Fuck him. So it was really hard for me because it's not even like I didn't like the group of 3 friends. If it was just Charles and Les, I think I would have liked this movie more. But every time Dean did something extra stupid, I'd be like, "Fuck you, man. It's now like 4 o'clock in the morning. Let the boy without the license go home. Why, Les? Why can't you have like a set of balls and just be like, dude, we're going home before I fuck up this car any more than it's already fucked up." So, anyways, also, I really wanted to see what happened with the sister.
Oh
I
yeah,
wanted to
she
know if
had
they
a
got
boyfriend
arrested.
who was a communist.
Yeah, he
They
was
ended up going
communist
to
Carl. They were going to a protest,
protest.
and they took the Audi. And
Yeah,
I'm like, what happened to the Audi?
yeah. The
What
police
happened
took
to the
the Audi.
sister?
Yeah,
What happened? That's
something tells me that
completely
got
left on. Give me an extra 15
cut.
minutes where I find out what happened to her. The movie can handle it. But yeah, no, it's a stream it. Like it's not so well, here's my actual note that I wrote. Most ridiculous movie ever. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. Am I ever gonna seek this movie out to watch it again? No. If it's ever on TV, would I sit through it? Probably. But I'm never going to look for it. But I think if you're someone who likes just a bunch of ridiculousness that has no point, but it could be really funny for you, I am not that person. So what's your score?
And well, if you were gonna IMDb, what would your score be?
Honestly, I'd probably give this a 5.
5.
Yeah.
That's
Like it's
the
not
worst
terrible,
score.
but it's not good either.
Yeah.
It's a little ridiculous, but it's fine.
All right, my score. Oops, where did it go here? All right. If you remember liking License to Drive, you were probably like me and are thinking, nah, this is not going to be good. You'd be right and you'd be wrong. This is not a great movie. It's not a smart movie and it's not a clever movie, but it is a goofy 80s movie. And I still thought it was funny. It's funny because of the nostalgia. And it's now funny because of the adults in the movie. The driving instructor, Uncle Philip from Fresh Prince, Natalie's driving instructor, the drunk driver, the dad, Richard is it Masser?
Masser? That's
Yeah.
how I always say Masser.
Carol Kane. It made it funnier this time around, or I found more funny things or more pleasure in it than just the kids. The continuity is horrendous. The jokes are sometimes very dated, but this is a summer movie for sure. This is a weekend at the cottage movie. This is a basement movie night movie, white sheet in the backyard with a projector, which by the way works great. You just need a white sheet and $100 projector, maybe a Bluetooth speaker, and it has to be very dark, but it works great. Corey Haim plays the main character with a childish charm, and he has very goofy swagger. Corey Feldman is the perfect co-star. I think I found him a lot funnier back then.
Yeah.
And that was his purpose, to be the funny friend. This is an award-winning movie. This is like a cheesy B movie drive-in. But I had a lot of fun. I would play it in the background with friends and family, or the adults will enjoy the nostalgia. Kids would actually get a kind of a kick out of it because License Drive, it has this timeless dilemma faced by so many kids, no matter what decade they're born in. Everyone can relate to this movie, and it's harmless. I say rent it. If you can, I wouldn't pay $20 for this movie, which was what it cost on Amazon and Apple. I would not pay $20. If it was like $6.99 or $7.99 on sale, I might buy it. I will watch this movie again, maybe next summer or the summer after it. It's not something that I'm going to put on my list that I can't wait to see this again. I got my fill. I'm good. I'm probably good for a few more years. That's what I mean. It's to me, it's worth a rental. I would give this probably a 6 on IMDb. 6 out of 10. Yeah, I didn't mind it at all. I actually thought it was going to be a lot worse.
See, I didn't mind most of the movie. Like I actually enjoyed a good chunk of it.
Yeah, and it did kind of sputter near the end there.
Yeah, at one point it felt like the movie lost itself.
Yeah, I don't even think it even
I feel like it knew it was going to be a dumb movie about a kid doing dumb things after he fails his test and just never tells anyone. I feel like it was just, this kid's going to do a lot of really dumb things, but they're going to be funny dumb things. But I feel like it almost it lost itself. I think if they had cut in more stuff with the sister, maybe her getting arrested, her sitting in a jail cell with Communist Carl, like doing.
I did think that was good. I thought that was going to happen.
I thought
because
so
they
too.
made a point to, because they crossed paths.
Yeah, they cross paths at one point.
More...
The protesters are shaking the car, and he makes eye contact with his sister, who's standing next to the window, and he's like, "It's my sister, duck."
Yeah,
I'm like, she's standing right at the window. She can see you, even if you duck.
You're there, dude.
But I was like, oh, give me more of this. Like, if they had cut in some of this sister, and like done more with the parents, I think I would have liked this movie more. But as it was, Dean was a shithead.
I thought it was funny.
Fuck that guy.
Oh, he was a shithead, yes.
Such a shithead. I can't get past the shithead to laugh at him. It's just like, Jesus Christ. And I think I only counted one slur in the entire movie. So, I mean, yay. At one point, they used the F slur. Yes.
The F?
I don't remember who said it. But someone used the F slur for, yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
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 But it was like a lower volume, so I was like, oh.
I think everyone just assumes if it was done in the 80s, it's just slurs all over. Because we thought that about a lot of movies, and then
yeah, but I was like, oh, there's one slur. I was like, and there's the slur.
Yeah.
But there were no others, so I was kind of surprised at that. I was like, oh, nice, good for you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have one stream, one rent for 1988's License to Drive. All right. Anything else you'd like to add?
I'd like to point out that the nostalgia is strong in this one.
Yes, very much so.
So even if you just like looking back, it might be worth a watch to you. I still would not pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely 1980s.
Yeah.
The record player, the cassettes,
the phones,
intercom, the phones.
Intercom.
Yeah. It was very, very, very 80s. That helps. That sometimes that helps a movie.
It does. It really does.
All right. Well, thanks for coming back to 1988 and going over License to Drive with us. And until the next movie we remember liking.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.